The next emergency that's very relevant to us is earthquakes. So let's talk about earthquakes for a moment. During an earthquake, the question always comes, do I run out of the building or do I hide inside and wait? We don't want you to run out of the building. So don't be part of the Feet Don't Fail Me Now club. I'd like you to stay inside and drop, cover, and hold. Let's look at that a little bit further here. When the shaking starts, shout, earthquake, drop, cover, hold. We want to enlist everyone's cooperation in doing the right procedure. Let's talk about that. First of all, if possible, crawl under a desk or a table. The ceiling fixtures and things that are up above could be HVAC systems. Those things may fall. So you want to be under something that's covering your head and as much of your body as possible. Hold on to the table or desk so that it doesn't bounce away during the earthquake. You don't want to start out with already having an injury with your fingers smashed. There are different kinds of earthquakes. Some bounce up and down, and some have more of a rolly motion. So it's best to hold on to that table so that it doesn't get away from you. Here's an example of Christchurch, New Zealand in 2013. And you can see that the walls of this structure completely fell away, but there the tables are, and the tables still made it through. If you had dropped, covered, and held under the table, you'd still be there. You also notice that a lot of the debris on the street is from that side of the building. This happened in the Seattle area during the Nisqually earthquake a few years back, and a lot of the facades in the buildings downtown, glass broke, bricks fell off the building, and people were injured as they ran out of the building. So stay in place, drop, cover, and hold. Here's an example of someone that would have been seriously injured had they stayed in that chair during an earthquake. Things like bookcases, shelving, file cabinets, they can all fall forward, and if this person had remained in the chair, they would have been hit in the head. If there is no table or desk, what do? Well, drop to the floor, cover up as much of your spinal cord and your head as possible, and get underneath the chair if possible. So crawl under there head first and try to protect as much of your body as possible. No desk at all, no table, then what? Well, drop, cover, and hold like you see here on the screen, protecting the back of your neck and your head, covering up as much of that area as possible. We have to practice. So here's an old Chinese proverb, because if we don't practice, we forget. And each October, we participate in the Great Shakeout. So be sure to plan for that for the coming fall, usually at 10/16 or 10/17 on the date 10/16 or 10/17. Everyone across the country practices the Great Shakeout. And this is an opportunity to have your workplace and your classroom all practice how to do drop, cover, hold. There's a difference between fire and an evacuation for an earthquake. Because in a fire, as mentioned, you need to leave immediately. Time is of the essence. With an earthquake, you have time to collect your personal belongings after the shaking stops. Look around you. If it's a very small earthquake, we're going to continue to stay in the building and nothing will change. But if it's a large earthquake and you notice broken glass or damage in your building or room, then that is the time to collect your belongings and we'll leave. Take everything with you because you may not be able to re-enter that day. This is some photographs of different earthquakes. The one in the upper left is the Alaskan earthquake 50 years ago. Last year was their 50th anniversary, and they say they are still feeling some of the impact from that earthquake 50 years ago. So if a roadway looks like that, you pretty much know you're stuck where you are. The photograph in the middle is actually what my front yard looked like in 1971 in Los Angeles. The San Fernando Valley earthquake was different areas, anywhere from a 6.9 to a 7.2, and really caused significant damage. The schools were closed for at least 2 weeks, and that literally is how that looked. So you can see how devastating that could be. The picture up on the upper right is Japan. And the picture on the lower left is the bridge is out, and you see the traffic starts backing up and you're kind of stuck if you can't cross that bridge. And guess what the traffic is on the bottom right? Well, that's Seattle traffic on a normal day. So you can see that we might be stuck. If so, you may need to stay where you are, and that leads me to being prepared.